guys, Twinstinct here and welcome back to another video. So today we're in Great League doing our last sets of battles. I have gone 16 wins and 9 losses with this team. This is going to be a long video guys, so please bear with me, but for sure you're going to want to stay and watch and take hints and tips on how to use this team, because for sure it's a very strong one and you're going to want to add this one to your arsenal of teams for next time Great League rolls around. I love the synergy in this team guys, it's absolutely insane. I've really enjoyed using it, it's such a strong team. A lot of battles I could have won more, it's just like one fast move I needed, or I was one move off a charge move which would have won me more battles. You know, I could have had 20 wins, 5 losses, it's been that close. These are high rank battles, so stay tuned and get all the tips and tricks on how to use this team. I do now have a Patreon guys, so if you feel like supporting me on there, please go check that out, that'd be awesome. If not, thank you for coming to check out my content anyway. I really appreciate all the support. Please do like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content guys and you're getting some helpful hints and tips from my content. That'd be awesome. Let's get straight into this video. Okay guys, moving straight into the first matchup here. We've got Umbreon on the lead against a Whimsicott. A very poor lead for us there as they do have Charm, but we switch straight into Wigglytuff and they switch into an Obstagoon strangely there. Not the switch I would go for, but we will shield the Cross Chop to preserve our health, and unfortunately we can't farm down the Obstagoon, which is what I was trying to achieve there. So we do get hit by a Cross Chop, but then the Obstagoon goes down. Then the Whimsicott comes back in. We do have an Ice Beam stored. If this hits the Whimsicott, we're doing a massive chunk of damage, but unfortunately the opponent does shield and we do go down to the Charm damage there. The opponent then switches from Whimsicott into a Galarian Stunfisk, which is a very poor matchup for our Meganium, which is what we want. We don't want to line up our Umbreon against that Whimsicott, but Meganium is a very good option for this Stunfisk, so they switched on to us badly there. We will shield to preserve the health on the Meganium because this is what we want to line up with that Whimsicott. Our Umbreon will really struggle against it, so we will be throwing the Frenzy Plant. Should get the last shield off the opponent, it does, and we can't quite get to another Frenzy Plant unfortunately, so we have got to take on this Whimsicott with our Umbreon. It is a Hurricane, doesn't do too much damage there, and we can just about get to a last resort before we get farmed down by the Whimsicott, and that does take out the Whimsicott. It's a fantastic battle there, very well played to the first opponent there. Moving straight into the next matchup against a rank 17, we've got Umbreon on the lead against another Whimsicott. Very popular in the higher ranks here. We'll switch straight into Wigglytuff again, then the opponent switches into a Swampert. We do know Swampert has access to that Sludge Wave, so we will be throwing up a shield here guys, and then we'll be going for a farm down, which we do achieve, so we do have a charge move stored, which is always a bonus. Now a Stunfisk coming in again. We know we have a great option in the back with Meganium, and we can take the shield off the opponent there with our Wigglytuff. We won't be shielding that, we can survive and get a couple more charms in, but we can't quite get to another Ice Beam there unfortunately guys. We can come in with Umbreon, go straight for the foul play, do a nice chunk of neutral damage on the Stunfisk, and now an attack coming at us. If it is a Rock Slide, won't do too much. Doesn't do too much to Umbreon whatsoever. Now we can go for the foul play again. We do get the last shield off the opponent there guys. They switch into Whimsicott, so we'll switch straight into our Meganium, which is a much better option. We'll definitely throw up the shield here guys because we don't want our Umbreon facing off against this Whimsicott. Go straight for the Frenzy Plant, does a massive chunk of damage on the Whimsicott, and we do manage to get to another one here, which is taking out the Whimsicott, and then the Stunfisk comes back in with stored energy unfortunately, takes us out with a Rock Slide. But then we can come back in with Umbreon, go straight for the foul play here, and that is almost taking out the Stunfisk, but they do get to another charge move unfortunately. It is an earthquake, does a massive chunk of damage, but then we snarl down the stun fist. Great match again, very exciting, well played to the opponent. Moving straight into the next matchup here. I'm getting short of breath already, guys. I've still got another like 15 battles to go through. Got Wigglytuff on the lead there. They switch into an Alolan Raichu, strangely. So the charm damage is destroying it. We'll go for an Ice Beam, get a shield. The Volt Switch damage is doing us in, but we do charm down the Alolan Raichu there. The opponent chooses to bring in Obstagoon, so of course we don't want our Umbreon going against that counter damage, so we will bring in a Meganium to go with the Frenzy Plant. We do get the second shield off the opponent there, and we're still sitting pretty with 2 shields. So we can throw one up here, and then hopefully we can get to a Frenzy Plant before the Obstagoon gets to another Night Slash. It's actually such a bulky team, this one. Meganium, Wigglytuff and Umbreon are all so bulky, which is what I like about this team. We can go straight for another Frenzy Plant on this Wigglytuff that's just come in, and that is taking it out, and that is a great battle, well played to the opponent there. Moving straight into the next matchup. Umbreon on the lead against a Ludicolo. The opponent switches straight into a Mandibuzz, so we know what to do, guys, against that dark typing. Bring in Wigglytuff. Foul play won't be doing anything to us, and literally when you get a Pokemon against you like this, you just want to go straight for a farm down, because the dark type damage won't be doing too much to you. I think I do throw a shield up here, yeah, just to farm down. We don't want to take any more damage, so we farm down the Mandibuzz, and then a Muck comes in. This is where I was happy that I used that shield, because we can get some nice damage down on this Muck. And I do throw up the second shield here, because we don't want our Meganium going against that Sludge Wave, because that will probably take it out. Super effective damage. And Umbreon isn't a great option against Muck either, so we get the second shield off the opponent there. And they switch in the Ludicolo, so we can do a nice chunk of the damage on that as well. Then come in with Umbreon, we've got a Foul Play stored, we're sitting pretty here, guys. Does a massive chunk of the Ludicolo's health. It is a Razor Leaf user, so it doesn't charge that quickly. We can get into another Foul Play. Almost takes out the Ludicolo, but they do get to a charge move with barely any HP to spare there. It is an Ice Beam, doesn't really do a lot to us. We take out the Ludicolo, and unfortunately the Muck beats us to a charge move there. It is a Sludge Wave, will be taking us out, and we do have Meganium. It's a race to the charge move, and we get to the Frenzy Plant first there. Quite a spicy pick there, Alolan Muck. Very well played to that opponent, and moving straight into the next matchup. Rank 18 versus rank 18. Umbreon on the lead against a Skarmory, but they do switch straight into Swampert there, which I almost didn't see because it was a bit laggy. But then we switch locked against the Swampert. Obviously you have to be careful of that Sludge Wave, but we want to farm the Swampert right down. So I do use both shields here. They bait me with a Hydro Cannon, but still, we farmed up so much energy there. And the opponent comes in with a Skarmory next, so we can start throwing this energy at them, which they don't shield. We just want to switch if we can. We switch straight into Umbreon just in time there to catch the charge move. Our switch clock done it for us there, thank God. Else we'd have been in trouble, so they switch into a Venusaur now. The opponent still does have shields, we are out of them, but we have got ahead on energy here, which is good for us. The Foul Play does a nice chunk of damage on the Venusaur there. We don't want our Wigglytuff getting hit by a Sludge Bomb from this Venusaur, so we do want to take the shields off it and do a nice chunk of damage if we can. Unfortunately they do shield there. Now we can switch into our Meganium, go for the Frenzy Plant. Now the shields are down because we've got stored energy. Does a nice chunk of damage, but unfortunately we can't get to another Frenzy Plant. But what we can do is that we've taken the energy off of the Venusaur, so we can come in with Wigglytuff safely and farm down the Venusaur. We know the Skarmory's coming in, so we can do nice chunks of damage with the charm damage, and then hopefully we can make it to the Ice Beam. We can make it to the Ice Beam, before the Skarmory gets to another charge move, and that takes out the Skarmory. It's a very, very good match and well played to the opponent. Straight into the next matchup against another rank 18. Got Umbreon on the lead against a Marowak. This is a nice lead for us, so they switch straight into Azu. Now we can switch lock with Meganium. Obviously we have to be careful of the Ice Beam, guys, that will be super effective. So we just want to get this Azumarill out the way, really. If we can land a Frenzy Plant, that's the best situation for us here. I think we charge about as fast as the Azumarill, but they got ahead of us on energy. So I will throw up a shield there, overcharge slightly, and then go for another Frenzy Plant. They do shield both times there, so we're out of shields. And they do switch back into the Marowak, which is a very cheeky move there to catch my Frenzy Plant. But what I do have is, which they might have forgotten, is an Umbreon with stored energy, so we can smash them with this foul play, almost take them out there, and then we're going to farm up some extra energy off of this Marowak, guys. Bone Club won't be doing anything to us. Just another Bone Club, doesn't do anything. We can snarl down the Marowak. So this is crucial, guys. You need last resort on your Umbreon if you're going to run this team, because for a match against Azu you're going to really struggle. Play Rough almost takes us out there, and they switch into a Meganium to catch our charge move here, but we will land it, and then we can switch in Wigglytuff to destroy this Meganium with the charm damage. They do hit us with an Earthquake there, does a massive chunk of our health, but we can take them down, and I think it's just the Azumarill left, and then we can get to an Ice Beam, and that should be closing out the matchup quite nicely there, taking out the Azumarill. Very well played to the opponent, very skilled match there, lots of switching. Very, very good match. Moving straight into the next match then, guys. We've got Umbreon on the lead against a Lantern. Go straight for the foul play here. Doesn't do too much damage. Lantern's very bulky. I am powering up one myself at the moment for use in the next Great League, so probably have a video out on that when Great League next comes around, but we will see. They let both foul plays go through there. We'll throw up a shield here because I saw they were overcharging, so we don't want to get hit by a Hydro Pump. They've thrown all their energy, so we can get to 2 foul plays here, guys. They do have to shield to preserve the health on the Lantern, but we're forcing them here. Either they let the Lantern go, or they've used both shields there. We won't be using our shield, we will go down to the Hydro Pump, and now the Lantern is in farmable range. They switch into an Altaria, but little do they know we have Wigglytuff in the back, which is absolutely going to destroy this Altaria. We can throw up the shield, and hopefully the Altaria is in farm down range. It is. We've taken out the Altaria, they've got no shields, we farm down the Lantern, and then a Swampert comes in and they do quit, so that's a very good match, well played to the opponent. Moving straight into the next matchup, Umbreon on the lead against a Frostlass, so this is another great matchup for us, guys. The opponent switches straight into a Vigoroth, I'll switch straight into my Wigglytuff to catch this Body Slam. Does a nice chunk of our health, but we are going to work with the charm damage here. We got that extra charm in there as well, so hopefully it's in farm down range. After that Body Slam we will shield just to try and farm down. We can't quite get there, unfortunately. I won't be shielding that because we haven't got much HP left, and the Vigoroth was in at farm down range. Now they come in with the Frostlass. Luckily we have a shield left, so we don't want to get hit with an ice move, and we can switch into our Umbreon and catch them with a foul play. They do shield. We've got another foul play stored, and they shield that as well. Umbreon's such a spammy Pokemon. And they do have a charge move ready before we can get to another foul play, unfortunately. It's just a Shadow Ball, it doesn't do anything to us. They bring in a Marowak. Not sure why I went for the last resort there, as I had 2 foul plays almost stored up. We come in with Meganium, catch the Flame Wheel, and we can get to an Earthquake, which is just what I wanted to do there. which destroys the Marowak. The Frostlass comes in and farms us down, but we do have a foul play stored on the Umbreon, which will be taking out the Frostlass. That's a great battle and well played to the opponent there. Halfway through, guys, I'm doing this commentary all in one go, so if you're still with me, thank you very much. The support is very much appreciated. So here we started out against a Medicham and a Bastiodon now coming in, my worst enemy. This is why I lost a few of my matches in these 5 sets, is because of Bastiodon. It's such a pain. It's just so tanky. I don't know how to do any damage to it apart from a Hydro Pump or an Earthquake. So here's my only answer. We've got Meganium coming out against it now. Start throwing Frenzy Plants and hope that one of them lands. I know Earthquake is a better option, but for sure I just want to get the shields off this opponent, because Bastiodon is my worst enemy. We overcharged slightly there, guys, and go for another Frenzy Plant. I wanted to make it look like I was going to go for an Earthquake, but luckily I went for a Frenzy Plant because they let it go straight through. Now the Medicham comes in, we can throw a Frenzy Plant. The opponent does shield there. We can shield here. They throw a Psychic at us there. I'm hoping to get to another Frenzy Plant, which I can get to just, guys. This is crucial in this matchup against Medicham. It's very, very strong, and they've thrown their energy against us there, which probably is a mistake, but they were trying to power up to go against my Umbreon. A nasty bit of lag has hit us there. I don't quite know what's happened. And we snarl down the Medicham. Then an Azu comes in. I don't know what happened to that Medicham, because the Azumarill has come in firing bubbles at us, so we can go straight for a last resort. And we can get to another last resort here. Got some nasty lag in this matchup. We get to another last resort. This would have been a very, very close match if it wasn't for this lag. I don't know quite what happened, but unfortunately a lot of battles are like this in the Go Battle League, and then the opponent quits there. So I don't really know what happened with that matchup, but that was for sure would have been close if it wasn't for that lag. Moving straight to the next matchup against a Galvantula. We for sure don't want to be getting hit with a lunge, because I believe that will be super effective. So we do throw up a shield there and then go for the foul play. I do really like Galvantula as a Pokemon. That lunge damage and the status effect of lowering attack is very, very helpful. We take out the Galvantula luckily before it gets to another lunge to debuff our Wigglytuff, and then start going to work on this Stunfisk. Unfortunately we're not the best against Stunfisk, but we'll just keep chunking away at the health of it as much as we can. We won't be shielding this, because now we can come in with Meganium, start going to work with Vine Whip and get to a Frenzy Plant, which they do shield there. So the opponent is out of shields. We still have one remaining, so we will definitely be shielding this Rock Slide, and then hopefully get to another Frenzy Plant. I think I'm going to go for the Earthquake actually here, just to make sure we take out this Stunfisk. I could have possibly Frenzy Planted it, guys, and taken it out, but I just wanted to make sure. So the Stunfisk goes down, and now an Azu comes in, so we can get to the Frenzy Plant first, which is so crucial in this matchup. If they beat us and got an Ice Beam off, we would have been in trouble, because we've only got Umbreon to deal with this Azumarill. But for sure this worked out well for us in this matchup, and then we can come in with Umbreon with stored energy, go for the last resort. Again, guys, last resort so crucial. Foul play won't do a lot to Azu. For sure, great matchup there. It was very close. Moving straight into the next matchup here. And you've got Mantine on the lead against our Umbreon. So we go straight for foul play. Does a nice chunk of the Mantine's health there. The opponent doesn't shield. I will definitely not be shielding either, so I'm a big fan of Mantine and use it quite often myself. So we'll go straight for another foul play. I'm surprised this opponent wasn't running Bubble Beam on the Mantine. because it's far more spammy and lowers the attack on the opposition Pokemon. So for sure, if it was me running Mantine on the lead, I'd definitely have Bubble Beam, but I don't really know what happened there. Some lag as well. I think the opponent might have switched Mantine out. And then they brought in a Mawile, which I don't see very often, so I don't really know how to counter it with my current team. I don't think anything I've got's any good. So luckily we've got it switched against our Umbreon. I did try and switch out there with a foul play stored, but unfortunately we'll just have to take the opponent's energy instead and come in with Wigglytuff and hopefully farm down the Mawile, which we can do there. And now a Ferrothorn coming in. I can't stand Ferrothorn either, but it's slightly better than Bastiodon, guys. I really can't stand Bastiodon. It was the reason I lost most of the matches that I did lose in this run. I would have probably, if people didn't have Bastiodon, won a lot more, but for sure Bastiodon is very expensive to power up, so if anyone's managed to do it, that is okay. Well done to them. They have a very strong Pokemon in Bastiodon, but that is the end of that battle, guys. We come in with Meganium and Vine Whip down the Mantine. Moving straight into the next matchup here, we've got Umbreon on the lead against a Azumarill. So again, not a very good lead for us there. We run into a lot of bad leads, but for sure they switch into Marowak, which is a great answer, but look at that damage on the Marowak from the Earthquake. They didn't shield. So that has flipped this matchup right up for us there. We can shield against the Marowak and then farm down with Vine Whip. Then a Shiftry coming in, we can go straight for the Frenzy Plant, which they don't shield either, so that hits the Shiftry for nearly half its health. We get to another Frenzy Plant almost, but we won't be shielding there to get to it. We can let the Meganium go down. It's done enough work there. We can come in with Umbreon, take a Leaf Blade on the chin, that doesn't do anything to us there, and go for the last resort, which the opponent switched into Azumarill there. We hit it with last resort to do a nice bit of damage. Then we can comfortably come in with Wigglytuff, shield this Hydro Pump, so the opponent's thrown all their energy there trying to nuke us, and now hopefully we can get to we can take out the Azu, which is just what we wanted there, and then charm down the Shiftry. MVP Wigglytuff there doing some work, guys. I love Wigglytuff, it's so strong. Moving straight into the next matchup, Umbreon on the lead against a Cresselia. Another very positive matchup for us there, but then the opponent switches in a Bastiodon. Luckily we have Meganium in the back, so we can go to work, as long as we throw some shields at Meganium, because we want this Bastiodon out of the way. And if they have Flamethrower, we definitely have to shield like this. So I overcharge, guys, so they think I'm throwing an Earthquake, but I think they read what I'm doing, so I should have thrown the Earthquake. But for sure, Frenzy Plant still does a lot more damage to a Bastiodon than most things. They Flamethrower again, I overcharge, and then go for the Frenzy Plant again. It should be enough to almost take it out if they let it go through, which they don't. And hopefully we can just about get to another one before the Bastiodon gets to a Flamethrower. And that does take out the Bastiodon just with another Vine Whip. Now the Cresselia comes in. They've got no shields, I don't believe. We can throw the Foul Play. It does a massive chunk of the Cresselia's health. Then they switch in a Whiscash. So what we want to do here, guys, because we're so strong against that Cresselia, is charge up a little bit of extra energy. And hopefully we can switch into Meganium at some stage, so we can save our Umbreon for that Cresselia at the end. So we've charged up to 2 Foul Plays there, guys. We're just stalling for time here so we can get our Meganium in, try and get a couple of Vine Whips off. We can take this Mud Bomb here, and we can switch into Meganium, and they read it and switch into Cresselia, but we do have a Frenzy Plant stored, which will help us in the end game here. Does a nice chunk of damage to the Cresselia. Now we can come in with Umbreon, throw the Foul Play, which will be taking out the Cresselia there. And then a Whiscash coming back in. They do have stored energy, but for sure we've still got Wigglytuff in the back with a full full bar of health, which just charms down the wish cache easily there, and that's a great match, well played to the opponent. Moving straight into the next match, guys, against a rank 16, we've got Umbreon on the lead against a Hypno, a very good matchup for us again. We do get to a foul play, the opponent's chosen not to switch out. Interestingly here, we go for the foul play, gets a shield off the opponent. Hypno doesn't really have too much that can hurt us. They then switch into a Ferrothorn, which still isn't a great answer for us. So we'll throw a couple of foul plays at it. Does a nice chunk of neutral damage there. We won't need to shield. Power Whip does a nice chunk of health to us, but we can survive very easily there. So we go straight for the foul play again. Does a nice chunk of health to the Ferrothorn. This time we will throw up a shield because we don't want our Wigglytuff facing off against this later on. So we bring in Wigglytuff. Luckily we shielded that, would have been super effective. Then we can charm down the Ferrothorn there. And now they bring the Hypno back in. With a stored energy, the Ice Punch hits us. And they do have another charge move ready. It's another Ice Punch. And we get to an Ice Beam though, which the opponent does use his last shield on. The charm damage is really adding up on that Hypno. They should have saved the Hypno really for... should have put a Hypno elsewhere, because now we can come with Umbreon and destroy the Hypno. Now a Mandibuzz comes in. This is where I got worried, because obviously it is part flying type, I believe. And we do have Meganium in the back with only Frenzy Plant and Earthquake, which are really bad against flying types. But luckily we've got Umbreon that can do a bit of damage here with these last resorts. So we've got the Mandibuzz to half health there. And then the opponent has to throw some energy here to get to taking out our Umbreon. And then Meganium can come in. Luckily I don't think this Mandibuzz had Sky Attack, which is very lucky for us there. We can get to a Frenzy Plant. It won't be very effective, but it does over half the remaining health on the Mandibuzz, and then the opponent does quit there. Well played to the opponent, and a very, very close match. It could have gone either way there. Moving straight into the next matchup anyway, we've got Umbreon on the lead against a Marowak. Very good lead for us here. We can go straight for a foul play. The opponent does smartly shield there. Nothing Marowak has can really do a lot to us, so we will not be shielding. Shadow Bone, not very effective, guys. So they switch in a Mandibuzz. This is a perfect situation, guys. So you see there, you charge up a charge move for the Marowak on the Umbreon, and then switch into Wigglytuff to start going to work with the charm damage. We don't need to shield. Foul play won't do anything to us. We can just keep going to work with the charm damage. I think we will be using up a shield here because we don't want to take any extra damage, just to preserve the health on the Wigglytuff, because Charm is such a heavy hitting move. They bring in a Swampert, so now we go for the Ice Beam. When I saw Swampert I was very pleased because I know I've got Meganium in the back. And we've done a nice chunk of damage on this Swampert, and I won't be shielding. We'll let the Wigglytuff go down, it's done enough work, and we can bring in Meganium to bait out the Marowak, throw up the shield. It's just a Bone Club, I didn't need to shield, but we can throw the foul play now on the Marowak. Does a massive chunk of its health. And then I go for a straight farm down on the Marowak. They do get to a charge move, but a Shadow Bone won't be doing enough to us there. And we can farm down the Marowak. We're sitting pretty with 2 charge moves, guys, so we can just spam out the foul plays on the Swampert. And that will be closing up the matchup quite nicely there. Well played to the opponent. Moving straight into the next matchup here against a rank 17. Almost at the end, guys. Doing this commentary straight through. Jeez. Okay, we've got a Stunfisk against us this time. So Umbreon on the lead against not a Galarian Stunfisk for a change. Quite a spicy lead from this person here. Galarian Stunfisk is definitely ranked higher, but for sure this will catch a few people out. But we know Mud Bomb can't do a lot to us, so we'll just let them come through and keep spamming the foul plays, as I think we're doing a little bit more damage. I try and charge up 2 foul plays there, which I do manage to do, and I can start throwing them at the opponent. If the opponent lets us go through, it should be taking out the Stunfisk, but they do shield smartly there, so we're ahead on shields now. Unfortunately, we can't get to the next foul play, but I think we'll survive this Mud Bomb with barely any health, and we can now throw a foul play at the opponent, which is just the situation we want. And they shield again there, so we take their energy, and we're sitting sweet on 2 shields, guys. We can come in with Meganium, almost farm down the Stunfisk, but we know again Mud Bomb is not going to do anything to us on Meganium there, and we farm down the Stunfisk. Then an Escavalier comes in. I can go straight for the Earthquake on the farmed energy. That does a massive chunk of the Escavalier's health. And then they switch in a Bastiodon. A bad mistake there. They've just seen an Earthquake come through on the Escav, and now they bring in the Bastiodon to get hit by one as well. And now we can go for a Frenzy Plant, which should be taking out the Bastiodon. And then the Escavalier comes back in, takes us out there, and we can come in Wigglytuff and Charm down. That was a great match, well played to the opponent. So that is it from me, guys. For sure, that team is insane. It's probably one of the best teams I've used this season. I've got a 4-to-1 set, a 3-to-2 set, a 2-to-3 set, another 3-to-2 set, and then a 4-to-1 set again. So for sure, guys, this team is very, very strong. It got me 16 wins out of the 25 battles I played. So for sure, worth a go in the next Great League if you guys are struggling for ideas. Please do like and subscribe, guys, if you're enjoying my content. You've got some help from this video. If you made it to the end, for sure, you're awesome. Because I really struggled to commentate all through that video, I must say. So thanks very much, guys, for watching. If you made it to the end, it means the world to me. Thank you so much for supporting me. For sure, check out my Patreon if you feel like supporting me further. But for sure, I'm so grateful you checked out this video. And please keep coming back to my content for more great Pokemon Go PvP and informative videos. And I'll see you in the next video, guys.